Major Alex Taylor stood at the viewport of the UES horizon, watching the stars. Today was supposed to be historic, the first official meeting between humans and the Zarkari collective. His palms were sweaty inside his formal uniform gloves. Nervous. "Major?" Lieutenant Samantha Wright asked, coming to stand beside him. Her uniform was identical to his, but she wore it with the ease of someone comfortable in their own skin. "Wouldn't you be?" "First contact. Real first contact, not just message exchanges," Alex replied. Samantha shrugged. "They agreed to meet us. That's a good sign." Alex wasn't so sure. The initial communications with the Zarkari had been polite but guarded. Humanity had only recently developed faster than light travel, making them newcomers in a galaxy already populated by older civilizations. The Zarkari collective was the dominant power in this sector, with 17 star systems under their control. "Approaching vessel has matched our orbit," announced the ship's AI through the overhead speakers. Zarkari delegation preparing to dock. Alex straightened his uniform. As the Horizon's diplomatic officer, he would be the first human to formally greet aliens face to face. The weight of that responsibility made his shoulders tense. "Remember," Captain Lisa Reeves said as she joined them, "they evolved as herbivores. Keep your movements slow and non-threatening." Alex nodded. The briefing files had been clear about that. The Zarkari were tall, slender beings with 4 arms and wide, expressive eyes. Their evolutionary history was completely different from humans. They came from a low-gravity world with minimal environmental threats. Their society had developed through cooperation rather than competition. "Docking complete," the AI announced. "Atmospheric matching successful." The 3 officers made their way to the docking bay. A small honor guard of 4 crew members stood at attention near the airlock. No weapons were visible, a gesture of trust that had been negotiated in advance. Tokyo. Airlock cycled open, revealing 4 Zarkari. Despite having seen images, Alex was still stunned by their appearance. They stood nearly 7 feet tall, with skin that shifted subtly between shades of blue and green. Their 4 arms moved with fluid grace as they stepped aboard the Horizon. The AI lead Zarkari wore elaborate robes with symbols Alex recognized from their communications as denoting governmental authority. "This would be Ambassador Zelthos. Welcome aboard the UES Horizon," Alex said, keeping his voice gentle and making the open-handed gesture their communications team had determined would be recognized as peaceful. "I am Major Alex Taylor, diplomatic, liaison for the United Earth government." Zelthos studied Alex with large, multifaceted eyes. When the alien spoke, the translator device on Alex's uniform converted the melodic sounds into English. "Your hospitality is acknowledged, Major Taylor." "Of Earth?" The ambassador's translated voice sounded almost musical. "We have traveled far to assess your species." Something about the phrasing made Alex uneasy. "Assess, not meet." Captain Reeves stepped forward. "We've prepared a conference room for our discussions. We hope this meeting will be the beginning of a productive relationship between our peoples." The Zarkari delegation followed them through the ship's corridors. Alex noticed how the aliens flinched at every sound. The hum of the engines, the hiss of automatic doors, even the footsteps of the human crew seemed to disturb them. In the conference room, refreshments had been prepared based on the biochemical information the Zarkari had shared. The aliens didn't touch the offerings. "Let us proceed without delay," Zelthos said. "Our preliminary studies of your species have raised concerns that must be addressed." Alex exchanged a worried glance with Captain Reeves. This wasn't how first contact was supposed to go. "We're happy to address any concerns," Alex said carefully. The ambassador activated a small device that projected an image into the center of the table. Alex recognized Earth, but the display highlighted unusual data: atmospheric composition, gravity measurements, radiation levels, and weather patterns. "Your homeworld is classified as a death world in our ecological index," Zelthos stated flatly. "High gravity, extreme weather variations, dangerous levels of oxygen promoting combustion, and significant background radiation. Those conditions are normal for us," Captain Reeves said. Precisely the issue. Zelthos's upper arms made a gesture that the translator didn't interpret. Your species evolved under pressure that produced concerning adaptations. The projection changed to show human biological data, muscle density, skeletal structure, brain patterns. Your bodies are built for violence, another Zarkari said, this one wearing what appeared to be scientific insignia. Persistence predators, with endurance beyond anything in the collective. We're omnivores, Alex corrected gently, and we've built a peaceful global society. After destroying portions of your planet with atomic weapons, Zelthos countered. After countless wars, among yourselves. Your history is written in blood, Major Taylor. Samantha, who had been silent until now, stepped forward. With respect, Ambassador, we came here in peace. We're explorers, not conquerors. The Zarkari scientist made a sound that the translator rendered as a scoff. A species does not evolve, as you have and choose peace when presented with easier targets. Basic evolutionary pressure makes that clear. The atmosphere in the room had changed completely. What was supposed to be a historic friendship had become an interrogation. Perhaps we should discuss practical matters, Alex suggested. Trade opportunities, cultural exchange. The collective has made its assessment, Zelthos interrupted. Humanity represents an unacceptable risk to galactic stability. You will be contained. Contained? Captain Reeves asked, her voice sharp. What exactly does that mean? Your species will be restricted to your home system until you demonstrate sufficient evolutionary and cultural changes to be considered safe. The ambassador's tone left no room for negotiation. Alex felt a cold knot form in his stomach. That could take thousands of years. You can't just quarantine an entire species. We can and we have when necessary, the ambassador replied. The alternative would be preemptive action to neutralize the threat. Samantha's hand moved instinctively toward where her sidearm would normally be, though all humans were unarmed, for this meeting. The subtle movement didn't escape the Zarkari's notice. Your instinctive resort to violence proves our point, Zelthos said. This meeting is concluded. The collective will convene to determine the appropriate containment protocols for humanity. The delegation rose to leave. Captain Reeves tried to salvage the situation. Ambassador, surely we can discuss this further. We came seeking friendship. Predator also approaches with seeming friendliness, Zelthos replied. The collective has existed for 10,000 years by recognizing threats before they mature. As the Zarkari left the conference room, Alex caught Samantha's eye. Her expression was grim. This isn't over, she whispered. She was right. 3 hours after the Zarkari shuttle departed, the Horizon's communication systems failed completely. Emergency backups showed signs of deliberate sabotage. They've stranded us, Captain Reeves said, looking at the damage reports. And I suspect they're not planning to give us time to repair the systems. Why? Alex asked, still struggling to understand how the meeting had gone so catastrophically wrong. Samantha's face was hard as she studied the tactical display. Because they're afraid of us, Major. And in my experience, fear leads to one thing. What's that? Alex asked. Preemptive strikes, she answered quietly. We need to prepare Earth. The Zarkari aren't coming back to talk. 2 days later, limping home on auxiliary systems, the Horizon detected a massive energy signature at the edge of the solar system. The Zarkari had returned, not with a diplomatic vessel, but with a fleet, and Earth, unaware of the danger, had no idea what was coming. The UES Horizon limped back to Earth just as the Zarkari fleet arrived. 50 alien ships took position around the planet, their sleek designs unlike anything humans had built. They were beautiful and terrifying at once. Alex Taylor stood in the United Earth Defense Force headquarters alongside Captain Reeves and Lieutenant Samantha Wright. Around them, military and government leaders argued about how to respond to the alien threat. We can't fight them, General Dan Foster said, pointing at the holographic display of the Zarkari fleet. Their technology is at least a century beyond ours. We can't surrender either, another official countered. You heard what they told Major Taylor. They want to lock us in our own solar system. Forever. Alex watched the faces around him grow, pale with fear. Earth had been united for only 30 years. The planet had never faced an external threat before. They're hailing us, a communications officer announced. The main screen activated, showing the now familiar face of Ambassador Zelthos. Behind him stood a new Zarkari, wearing elaborate armor with glowing symbols. People of Earth, Zelthos began. The collective has deliberated on your status. This is High Commander Virthal, who will oversee your containment. The armored Zarkari stepped forward. Your ships have been detected in 27 star systems already. Your expansion ends today. Earth's president stepped into view of their camera. We are explorers, not invaders. We seek peaceful. Peace is not possible with predator species, Virthal interrupted. The collective has studied your history. You fight wars over territory, resources, and ideas. You hunt for sport. You design weapons specifically to kill other sentient beings. That's our past, the president argued. We've evolved beyond. Biological evolution requires millions of years, Virthal cut in again. Cultural restraint is temporary. The danger you represent is inherent to your nature. Alex felt Samantha tense beside him. Her fists were clenched. To demonstrate the futility of resistance, Virthal continued, we will show you what you face. The transmission changed to show the interior of one of the Zarkari ships. In a massive chamber stood a line of mechanical constructs. They resembled humans in basic shape, but were much larger, at least 12 feet tall. Their metal bodies gleamed under the lights. The BT-9000 war machines, Virthal's voice explained. 127 worlds have surrendered upon seeing them. In action, they are piloted by our most advanced artificial intelligence systems and have never been defeated in combat. The camera zoomed in on one machine as it activated, its eyes glowing blue. It moved with startling speed for something so large, demonstrating combat movements that blurred with their velocity. Each war machine can eliminate approximately 500 human soldiers before requiring maintenance, Virthal said. We have brought 500 machines to Earth. The room fell silent. Alex heard someone whisper a prayer. You have 24 Earth hours to agree to containment, Zelthos stated. After that, we will begin landing operations. Those who resist will be eliminated. The transmission ended. Silence filled the command center. 250,000 soldiers, General Foster said quietly. That's how many we'd lose according to their numbers. Alex stepped forward suddenly. An idea had formed in his mind. A desperate one. What if we challenge them differently? He suggested. The room turned to look at him. Throughout human history, when civilizations met and neither wanted full-scale war, they sometimes used champion combat to settle disputes. You want us to fight those machines? Someone asked incredulously. Not all of them, just one, Alex said. We challenge them to a one-on-one battle, their champion against ours. If we win, they recognize Earth's sovereignty and establish peaceful relations. And if we lose? The president asked. Then we accept limited containment, but negotiate better terms, Alex replied. Either way, we avoid immediate bloodshed. Captain Reeves nodded slowly. The Zarkari value protocol and ceremony. Such a challenge might appeal to them. But we can't beat those machines, General Foster objected. You saw what they can do. Samantha cleared her throat. Permission to speak freely? When the president nodded, she continued. The Zarkari have misjudged us from the beginning. They see our evolutionary history as a weakness, a sign that we're dangerous. What they don't understand is that it's also our strength. What do you mean, Lieutenant? The president asked. They evolved as peaceful herd animals on a low-gravity world, Samantha explained. They've never had to fight with their bodies. That's why they built those machines. But humans, we've been fighting hand-to-hand for our entire history. Alex understood where she was going. You think we could defeat one in direct combat? I think we have a chance, Samantha said. And right now, a chance is better than certain defeat. The room broke into arguments again. Some officials wanted to launch Earth's nuclear arsenal at the alien fleet. Others suggested surrendering to buy time. The debate raged for hours while the alien ships hung silently in orbit. Finally, the president raised a hand for silence. Major Taylor, your proposal is our best option. Make the challenge. When they re-established communication with the Zarkari, High Commander Virthal seemed amused by the human proposal. A champion battle? The alien commander said, the translator giving his voice a note of surprise. You wish to fight one of our war machines directly? One battle, Alex confirmed. If we win, you recognize Earth as a sovereign power and establish diplomatic relations. If you win, we will accept containment with negotiated terms. The Zarkari commanders spoke among themselves in their native language, too quick for the translators to follow. Several made gestures that appeared to be their equivalent of laughter. We accept your challenge, Virthal finally said. It will serve as an educational demonstration for your species. We'll need 3 Earth days to prepare our champion, Alex said. Granted, Virthal replied. We will designate our newest BT-9000 unit as our champion. It has never known defeat across 17 star systems. After the transmission ended, Earth's leaders turned to Alex. Now we need a champion, the president said. I assume we'll use our most advanced combat robot? Before Alex could answer, Samantha stepped forward. With respect, Madam President, a machine is the wrong choice. The Zarkari expect that. They understand machines. What do you suggest, Lieutenant? The president asked. Send me, Samantha said simply. The room erupted again. A human against that war machine? General Foster exclaimed. It would be suicide. The lieutenant's right, Alex said, supporting her. The Zarkari fear us because we're human. We need to show them exactly what that means. I was a competitive martial artist before joining the service, Samantha explained, and I've trained in the Special Combat Division for 8 years. If anyone has a chance, it's me. The president studied her face. You understand what you're volunteering for? Samantha nodded. They need to understand what they're dealing with, and there's only one way to show them. The president took a deep breath. Very well, Lieutenant Wright. You're Earth's champion. The others filed out to begin preparations. Alex caught Samantha by the arm. Are you sure about this? You saw what that machine can do. Samantha's eyes were calm and determined. They think we're dangerous animals, Alex. Maybe it's time they learned why. Samantha stood in the training facility deep beneath the United Earth Defense Force headquarters. For the past 48 hours, she had barely rested. Time was running out. Again, she said, breathing hard. Dr. Eric Marshall, Earth's leading expert on alien technology, nodded and activated the holographic projector. The image of the BT-9000 war machine appeared before Samantha, moving at half speed through combat patterns recorded from the Zarkari transmission. Samantha studied the machine's movements, looking for weaknesses. The war machine was fast, faster than any human could move. It was also strong, with metal arms that could crush stone. But it wasn't perfect. There, she said, pointing as the hologram repeated a particular turning motion. Did you see that? Dr. Marshall adjusted his glasses. A slight delay when it changes direction? Yes, Samantha confirmed. About half a second. That's when I'll strike. Alex entered the training room carrying a tablet. We've got more data, he announced. Some of our stealth drones managed to scan the war machines while they're in storage on the Zarkari ships. He handed the tablet to Dr. Marshall, who studied the new information with growing excitement. This is excellent. We can see the internal structure now. The 3 of them gathered around the tablet, examining the detailed scans of the BT-9000. Look at this power distribution, Dr. Marshall said, pointing to colored lines running through the machine's design. It's different from anything we've built. Samantha studied the image carefully. What's this section here? She asked, pointing to a small area on the machine's back. That appears to be a cooling system, Dr. Marshall replied. The BT-9000 generates enormous heat when operating at full capacity. Alex leaned closer. Is that a weakness we can exploit? Possibly, Dr. Marshall said. But you'd have to get close enough to damage it, and the vent only opens for a few seconds after the machine performs high-energy movements. Samantha nodded, memorizing the location. I'll need to force it to use those high-energy attacks, then get behind it quickly. That's assuming you can avoid being hit, Alex said, concern in his voice. These machines are designed to fight entire armies. I don't need to fight an army, Samantha replied. I just need to beat one machine. Their planning was interrupted by an alert tone. A message appeared on the tablet. Incoming transmission from Zarkari fleet. They rushed to the command center, where Earth's leaders had already gathered. The main screen activated, showing Ambassador Zelthos and High Commander Virthal. We have been informed you've selected your champion, Zelthos stated without greeting. We require confirmation of what combat systems you'll be using. The president stepped forward. We've selected Lieutenant Samantha Wright. She will fight without weapons or technological assistance. Silence followed this announcement. The Zarkari leaders seemed confused. You intend to send an unaugmented biological being against our war machine? Virthal asked eventually, the translator unable to fully capture the disbelief in his voice. That is correct, the president confirmed. The Zarkari commanders spoke, rapidly among themselves in their native language. Finally, Zelthos addressed them again. We suspect deception, he said. Your species is known for cunning strategies. We demand your champion undergo scanning before the combat to confirm the absence of hidden weapons or technological enhancements. Agreed, the president said. We have nothing to hide. After the transmission ended, General Foster approached Samantha. They're afraid of us, he said with a hint of satisfaction. They can't believe we'd send a human against their machine. Without some trick. Let them think what they want, Samantha replied. It works in our favor if they're confused. The next day, as Samantha continued her preparations, a junior communications officer rushed into the training room. Lieutenant Wright, the young officer said breathlessly. We've received an encrypted message. It's from one of the Zarkari ships, but it's not an official communication. Samantha and Alex exchanged glances. Put it through, Alex ordered. The training room's screen activated, showing a Zarkari with more delicate features than the commanders they'd seen before. This alien wore what appeared to be scientific insignia. I am Kelara, xenobiologist on the science vessel Harmony, the Zarkari said softly, glancing nervously over her shoulder. I risk much by contacting you. Why are you contacting us? Alex asked cautiously. I've studied your species extensively, Kelara replied. I believe my superiors have critically misjudged humans. They see only your capacity for violence, not your capacity for growth and adaptation. Can you help us? Samantha asked directly. The BT-9000 has a weakness not shown in the official specifications, Kelara said. The cooling vent you've likely detected has a secondary function. When it opens, it exposes part of the machine's central processing core. Damage to this area will cause complete system failure. Why are you telling us this? Alex asked. Because endless war benefits no one, Kelara answered. My people fear what they don't understand. Perhaps this contest can lead to understanding instead of destruction. The transmission abruptly ended. Samantha looked at Alex. Can we trust her? It matches what we found in our scans, Alex said. But it could be a trap to make you focus on the wrong area. Samantha nodded. I'll keep it in mind, but stick to our original plan. The day of the contest arrived. A massive arena had been constructed in orbit between Earth and the Moon. The Zarkari had insisted on this neutral location, and humans had agreed. Before entering the shuttle that would take her to the arena, Samantha submitted to the Zarkari scanning procedure. Alien technicians ran devices over her body, checking for weapons or tech enhancements. This is unusual, one technician said, studying the scanning results. Your bone density and muscle fiber structure show signs of microfracturing and healing. That's from training, Samantha explained. It's how humans get stronger. The technician looked confused but continued the scan. Your neural response times are significantly faster than our reference data for your species. Again, that's training, Samantha said. Years of practice. The lead technician approached High Commander Virthal, who had overseen the scanning. Personally, they spoke quietly, with the commander looking increasingly disturbed. Finally, Virthal approached Samantha. Our scans confirm you carry no weapons or technological enhancements, he said. However, your biological readings are concerning. Are all humans capable of developing your physical attributes? Any human who trains as I have, Samantha replied simply. The commander seemed troubled by this answer, but said nothing more, as Samantha prepared to enter the arena. Alex caught her arm. The whole world is watching, he said. No pressure. Samantha smiled slightly. Not just our world. Theirs too. Be careful, Alex said. These machines are designed for war. So are we, Samantha replied. That's what they don't understand yet. She stepped into the arena. Across the vast space, a door opened in the opposite wall. The BT-9000 war machine emerged, its metal body gleaming under the lights, standing nearly twice her height. Its glowing, blue eyes focused on her. Over the arena's communication system, High Commander Virthal's voice rang out. Let the contest begin. The war machine moved first. It crossed half the arena in a blur of motion, faster than most humans could even track with their eyes. Its massive metal fist swung toward Samantha with enough force to shatter concrete. Samantha wasn't there when the blow landed. She had already dropped and rolled to the side, using the low-gravity environment to her advantage. The machine's fist hit nothing but air. For a brief moment, surprise seemed to register in its glowing blue eyes. In the observation deck, Alex and Dr. Marshall watched alongside Earth's leaders and Zarkari officials. A murmur ran through the alien observers. They didn't expect her to dodge, Alex whispered to Dr. Marshall. They underestimated human reaction time. The BT-9000 recovered quickly, spinning to face Samantha again. This time it moved more deliberately, analyzing her movements before attacking. Samantha circled cautiously, keeping her distance. The war machine suddenly fired jets in its feet, launching itself into the air. It came down like a meteor, aiming to crush her beneath its weight. Again, Samantha evaded, but not completely. The machine's arm clipped her shoulder, sending her spinning across the arena floor. Pain shot through her body. Even that glancing blow had nearly dislocated her shoulder. The machine truly was as powerful as they feared. In the Zarkari section of the observation deck, High Commander Virthal nodded with satisfaction. The human is quick, but the first serious blow will end this contest. Beside him, Kellara watched with different emotions. Unlike her superiors, she had studied humans extensively. She knew what they were capable of enduring. Samantha rose to her feet, rolling her injured shoulder. The war machine advanced again, its steps shaking the arena floor. It launched a series of attacks, punches and kicks that would have instantly killed most beings in the galaxy. Samantha dodged most, blocked a few with painful impacts to her forearms, and weathered the rest with controlled falls and rolls. Each time she was hit, she got up again. Each time she fell, she rose faster than before, learning the machine's patterns. The Zarkari observers fell silent, watching in growing disbelief. The human should have been defeated already. She's bleeding, one of them noted, pointing to a cut above Samantha's eye. Why does she continue fighting? No one had an answer. In their evolutionary history, injury meant retreat. Pain was a signal to stop. The concept of fighting through damage was alien to them. Alex leaned forward, hands gripping the railing. She's getting closer each time, he observed. She's learning its patterns. Dr. Marshall nodded. And forcing it to use more energy. Look at the power readings. On his tablet, indicators showed the BT-9000's energy output increasing steadily. The machine was having to work harder than expected. In the arena, Samantha changed tactics. Instead of purely evading, she began to close distance quickly after the machine's attacks, landing quick strikes to its joints before jumping away. Her blows hardly dented the metal, but they forced the machine to constantly readjust its position. "What is she doing?" General Foster asked. "She can't damage it that way." "She's making it work," Alex replied. "Making it burn energy. Look at its movements, they're getting more aggressive." It was true. The war machine had begun to use more powerful attacks, perhaps responding to its inability to land a decisive blow. It fired its jets again, then again, pursuing Samantha across the arena with increasing speed. Samantha took another hit, this one sending her crashing into the arena wall. Blood ran from her nose, and she limped slightly as she stood. The Zarkari audience chittered excitedly, sensing the end was near. But in the Earth section, Alex smiled. "Now," he whispered, "the cooling vent should be opening." Sure enough, as the war machine paused after its furious assault, a panel on its back slid, open briefly, venting excess heat. Samantha had positioned herself to see it, confirming what their scans and Kelara's information had indicated. The machine charged again, faster than ever. This time, instead of dodging completely, Samantha allowed it to get close. Its fist grazed her side, cracking ribs. She gasped in pain but used the machine's momentum against it, grabbing its arm and swinging her body up and over. For a brief moment, she was on the machine's back. Her hands found the cooling vent, still partially open after the machine's energy expenditure. With a shout of effort, she drove her fist into the opening, grabbing and tearing at the components inside. Sparks flew. The machine froze mid-motion, its systems temporarily overwhelmed by the unexpected damage. Samantha didn't waste the opportunity. She pushed off from the machine, then used the arena wall to launch herself back at it with full force. Her body slammed into the still frozen machine. Under normal Earth gravity, such an impact would have accomplished little. But in the low-gravity environment of the arena, combined with the machine's already compromised balance, it was enough. The BT-9000 toppled backward. As it fell, Samantha grabbed its head, twisting with all her remaining strength. Something cracked inside the metal skull. The glowing blue eyes flickered and went dark. The war machine crashed to the arena floor, motionless. Samantha landed beside it, breathing hard, blood running from multiple wounds. She stood over the fallen machine, waiting to see if it would rise again. It did not. Silence filled the arena and observation deck. No one moved. No one spoke. The Zarkari stared in complete disbelief. In all their records across 127 worlds, no one had ever defeated a BT-9000 war machine in direct combat. Certainly not a biological being using only their natural abilities. "Hi." Commander Virthal's hands trembled slightly. "Impossible," he whispered. Beside him, Kelara smiled faintly. "Not impossible," she corrected quietly. "Simply human." In the arena, Samantha knelt beside the fallen machine, checking to ensure it was truly disabled. Then she looked up at the observation deck, directly at the Zarkari leadership. The communication system crackled. "Your champion is defeated," she said simply. "As agreed, Earth will be recognized as sovereign, and peaceful relations will be established." Medical teams rushed into the arena to tend to Samantha's injuries. As they helped her onto a stretcher, Alex reached her side. "You did it," he said, his voice filled with wonder. "You actually beat that thing." Samantha winced as the medics examined her broken ribs. "They needed to understand what they're dealing with," she replied through gritted teeth. "I think they do now," Alex said, looking up at the Zarkari observers. Their expressions were unreadable to human eyes, but their silence spoke volumes. "The question is, what will they do with that understanding?" "That," Samantha said as the medics carried her toward the exit, "is the real battle. And it's just beginning." 3 days after the battle, Samantha stood before the Zarkari Council aboard their flagship. Her body was still healing, 2 broken ribs, a dislocated shoulder, and dozens of cuts and bruises. She had refused to stay in the medical bay, insisting on attending this crucial meeting. Alex stood beside her, along with President Garcia and General Foster. The Zarkari Council members sat in a semicircle, Their forearms folded in what humans had learned was a formal posture. High Commander Virthal occupied the center position, with Ambassador Zelthos to his right. To his left sat a new face. Kellara had been unexpectedly promoted after her secret communications with the humans had been discovered. The collective has reviewed the outcome of the champion combat, Virthal began, his translated voice carefully neutral. As agreed, we recognize Earth's sovereignty and withdraw the containment order. President Garcia nodded. We appreciate your respect for the terms of our agreement. However, Zelthos added, many questions remain. Your champion's victory has caused disruption throughout the collective. Samantha could imagine. According to what they'd learned, the BT-9000 war machines had been the Zarkari's ultimate enforcement tool for centuries. Now that myth of invincibility was shattered. There is something we must understand, Virthal said, fixing his large eyes on Samantha. Our medical scans show you sustained injuries that would incapacitate most species. Multiple fractures, internal bleeding, torn muscle fibers, yet you continued fighting. How? The question hung in the air. Samantha realized this wasn't just curiosity. It was the core of the Zarkari's fear. They truly didn't understand how humans functioned. That's what humans do, she replied simply. We endure. We adapt. We overcome. But we'd rather be your allies than your enemies. Kellara leaned forward. I have studied your evolutionary history. Your species developed on a planet that constantly tried to kill you. Predators, weather, disease, all shaped what you became. Yes, Alex confirmed. Earth is what you call a death world. But that harshness didn't just make us strong physically. It taught us to work together, to solve problems, to persist when things seem impossible. This is why you explore, Kellara said, more a statement than a question. Your curiosity comes from the same evolutionary pressure as your strength. President Garcia nodded. We don't explore to conquer. We explore because overcoming challenges is written into our DNA. The Zarkari Council members exchanged glances, communicating in subtle ways the translator couldn't capture. Finally, Virthal spoke again. The collective must reconsider many things. For millennia, we have classified species based on their evolutionary history. Herbivores like ourselves were deemed peaceful. Predators were deemed dangerous. But perhaps these categories are too simple. All species have strengths and weaknesses, Samantha said. Even your war machines. A light flickered briefly in Virthal's eyes, the closest thing to humor they had seen from him. Yes, that has become abundantly clear. Kellara rose from her seat, her forearms making an elaborate gesture. Council members, I propose a new classification for humans. Not as dangerous predators to be contained, but as resilient protectors. Murmurs ran through the council. Zelthos looked skeptical. Protectors of what? Of life itself, Kellara replied. Consider, in their brief history, humans have faced extinction multiple times. Asteroid impacts, ice ages, plagues, nuclear weapons of their own making. Yet they survive. They learn. They grow stronger. What if those traits were allied with the collective's resources and knowledge? The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Alex glanced at Samantha, his eyes wide. This was far beyond what they had hoped for from this meeting. You suggest making humans partners in the collective? Virthal asked, his tone unreadable. I suggest opening diplomatic relations first, Kellara answered diplomatically. But yes, eventually full partnership should be considered. Zelthos raised two of his hands. We must proceed cautiously. The combat victory proves human capabilities but not human intentions. Agreed, President Garcia said. We propose establishing an embassy on Earth and allowing an Earth embassy on your homeworld. Let us learn about each other properly, without fear clouding our judgment. The council deliberated among themselves, speaking quickly in their native language. Finally, Virthal addressed the humans again. We accept your proposal. Embassies will be established. Trade relations will begin under controlled conditions. And a cultural exchange program will be implemented to foster better understanding between our peoples. It was more than anyone from Earth had expected. Samantha felt a weight lift from her shoulders. The threat of war was gone, at least for now. As the formal meeting concluded, Kelara approached Samantha privately. "Your victory has changed everything," the Zarkari scientist said quietly. "Not just for the collective, but for the entire galactic community." "What do you mean?" Samantha asked. "Word is spreading among all spacefaring species. The unbeatable war machines were defeated by a human using only their natural abilities. Many worlds that feared the collective are reconsidering their positions. And species that once looked down on Deathworlders are suddenly very interested in forming alliances." "That wasn't our intention," Alex said, joining them. "We just wanted to protect Earth." "Intentions matter less than actions in galactic politics," Kelara replied. "And your actions have shaken the foundations of everything we thought we knew about biological capabilities." A week later, aboard the UES Horizon heading back to Earth, Alex found Samantha in the observation deck, staring out at the stars. Her injuries were healing well, though the doctor said some of the scars would remain permanently. "Penny, for your thoughts?" Alex asked, standing beside her. "I was just thinking about how quickly everything changed," Samantha replied. 2 weeks ago we were facing extinction, now we're being invited to join the galactic community. "All because you beat up a robot," Alex said with a smile. Samantha laughed, then winced as her ribs protested. "When you put it that way, it sounds ridiculous." "But it wasn't just beating the machine, was it?" Alex said more seriously. "It was showing them something they'd never seen before. The ability to push beyond normal limitations, to continue when logic says you should stop. That's uniquely human." "Maybe not uniquely," Samantha countered. "Just rare." Kelara understood even before the battle. Alex nodded. She said other species in the galaxy might seek alliances with us now. Humanity as galactic protectors. Not what I expected when we made first contact. "Protection comes with responsibility," Samantha said, watching as Earth came into view, a blue jewel against the blackness of space. "We'll need to be careful. Power can corrupt even when it comes with good intentions." "That's tomorrow's problem," Alex replied. "Today we celebrate. You saved our planet, Lieutenant." "We all did," Samantha corrected him. Then she smiled. "But I did get to punch an alien war machine. That's going in my memoirs." As the Horizon approached Earth, news of their success had spread worldwide. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged not just surviving but with a new place in the universe. The path ahead would hold many challenges, but for the first time, they would face them not alone, but as part of something larger, a galactic community that was just beginning to understand what humans were truly capable of.